So, it looks like the Lilo and Stitch live action remake might be good. It looks like the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake might be good. Oh no. I mean, this is my hot take. Live action remakes, I think, as long as they don't make any like big changes to the source material, and are remakes of actually well loved films, I think they're good. I think they're kind of cool. Obviously, it's made for money. Oh no, everything is made for money. Like, I don't think that's a problem. Like, you're like your favorite movie was not made for the love of the game. I mean, it might have been if you watch some like indie film. People will make films in their backyard. I made a movie technically. I didn't make it for money because I made nothing on it. So I guess if my movie is your favorite movie, then yeah, there you go. But most movies, if you're like Interstellar was made for money. I'm not saying that. I don't know. Just an example. Anyway, I think there's an inherent novelty to seeing an animated classic in live action. And I realize people think animation is some sacred art form that should never be touched. But like, why? Like, you can do things in animation that you can't do in live action, right? Like the Spider-Verse movies, for example. You cannot do that in live action. But like Beauty and the Beast, for example, was done in live action. And I think if you take like the Gaston scene in the animated version is much more cartoonish, for lack of a better word. Like Gaston is juggling the eggs, he throws all the eggs up, and then he like opens his mouth, and they all fall in, and he's like also super huge. And LeFou is like a little guy, and he gets the eggs all over him. Like, it's not the same as the live action version, but I think the live action version might be a little better because it just feels more filled out. There's more people. They're all dancing. It's just like it's fun, Yeah. I mean, like the Lion King is basically, it really is animated, but like it's animated in a photorealistic way. I think it's interesting watch because they're photorealistic lions. It looks cool. People aren't gonna rewatch it. Cold take. That's everyone's take. They're like, oh, it's cool, but I will never watch it again. Yeah, but it looks cool, and that's kind of neat. That's probably the most extreme example because I do think movies like Aladdin are more rewatchable. I'm like, I like Aladdin probably more than the original. The remake is better, in my opinion. Uh, but I think it's fine that Lion King exists, and obviously other people did too. It made a lot of money, but like, it just has to be again movies that people actually like Dumbo. They made a Dumbo live action remake. Who cares? I've seen Dumbo. I don't remember much about it except I know there was the crows. I remember Dumbo flew. There was clouds. At the beginning, his mom was in an elephant car and the storks came. I don't know. It was not a good movie. It was okay. It was whatever. And then they made a live action remake, which I've not seen. I'm not gonna. And then also the other thing that the live action remake has to do is remain relatively faithful to the original, because I think the inherent novelty comes from seeing your favorite moments on the big screen. I think Snow White, for all the problems the movie had, it did seem like it changed a bit too much, maybe. And I'm not saying you can't change stuff, because I think the Cinderella live action remake changed a lot. I don't even think it's a musical, but also the original Cinderella is like, it's just a take on Cinderella and the live action remake. I don't even know if I would necessarily call it a remake because it's not the same movie. It's just another take on Cinderella, which they could have done with Snow White too, but because they have a lot of the same songs, it is a remake, but then they changed too much. I don't know. I think How to Train Your Dragon looks pretty cool. It's not actually, like, I'm not saying it's perfectly shot for shot, but the same beats are there. It's basically the same story. I think that's cool. I've seen the movie a few times. Like, I don't think I'll recognize literally everything, but oh, that's the thing, but like a few things probably. And just in general, get to see it again in a different medium, I think is cool, as long as it exists, And it's not replacing the original, it's just a different take on it. And I don't get why people, like, what are we getting up in arms over? I don't think Disney, I'm not defending Disney, because Disney made so many of these, way too many of these, and for movies that no one wanted. Because a few of them made $1 billion. They're like, we're gonna make them all, and then Pinocchio was bad, and Snow White was bad, and they're like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? Apparently, Christopher Robin counts as a live-action remake. That's just a good movie. I don't think it's a live-action remake, because it's just another Winnie the Pooh movie. Disney's not making any live-action movies really anymore, which is unfortunate. but they're making a lot of remakes. Eventually, they're going to run out. No, they're doing Moana. Actually, I don't hate that they're doing Moana. I think like you're doing Moana, do it while The Rock can still do it. I'ma watch it. Sorry, it's gonna make a lot of money. It's probably gonna make $1 billion because it's Moana. I think a Tangled remake would have been cool. I don't think they should cancel live action remakes just because Snow White did bad. I think Lilo and Stitch will do well. I think it'll be good. Sorry. And then they'll probably be like, actually, no, we changed our mind. We are going to do more live action remakes. We're going to do Tangled. Sure, do Tangled. I think that could be good. But some of them don't. Some movies don't lend themselves well to live action. Like, you can't do Robin Hood, because that would just be like The Lion King. The Lion King technically isn't live action. And some movies just don't need to be remade because there's nothing cool about it. Or, like, no one would go watch it. Like, for everyone who's like, The Sword in the Stone! Okay, how much money is it going to make? Like, who's going to go watch it? No one. No one is going to go watch it. The Rescuers! That's going to make as much money as Snow White did when they re-released it.